Apple's highly anticipated results are in, and shares are down more than 7% in after-hours trade. As a result, the company reported $49.6 billion in revenue. That's more than $10 billion higher than a year ago. That was driven by record iPhone and Mac sales. CEO Tim Cook also hailed a successful release for the Apple Watch. Joining me now to discuss our own Samuel Burke and Shelly Palmer, the host of Shelly Palmer Digital Living. Thank you both for being with us. Sam, I just want to start with you because these numbers did just come across. You're talking about massive revenue, massive profit year over year. What is it that investors don't like about
The one number here that investors are not going to like is the amount of iPhones sold was just 47.5 million. If that sounds like a massive amount, well, you're correct, but they actually had expectations of between 48 and even a lot of people expecting 50 million iPhones. That's what's driving the stock down. It was down about 8% at one point, and now just about 6.5%.
Right, and we're just going off headlines. Shelly, one more quick one to Samuel, because investors, this is kind of a knee-jerk reaction. Was China the trouble spot? It
doesn't look like it for now, at least in the preliminary, looking over their press release. China sales doubling, they say, so it may not be China. It does look like it is the weaker than expected iPhone numbers.
Right. Well, so Tim Cook, I'm sure, is going to be asked about what exactly that's about. Shelly, is this a lot of reaction about nothing? I mean, when you look at the massive number this company is posting, the fact that, according to Gene Munster, they seem to be gaining market share on the high end, should we be disappointed by this?
Look, people who are caring about what the stock is doing today are going to care a lot about this, because this is movement, and if you trade movement, you're going to love today. If you're long on Apple, you stay long on Apple. They are about to break Apple Television in Q4. We don't know what that's going to look like, but it's going to be massive. They have a strategy to extract the highest-end consumers in the world, give them something to aspire to, give them a platform to consume on, and they hand advertisers these consumers on a platter. I'm sorry, that's the best strategy in the entire business. And if you sold 48 million more devices that'll do that, 2 thumbs up. If the stock prices go in the wrong direction, okay, yeah, that's the market, but it has nothing to do with Apple or their strategy or what's to come. So these are just people who are playing Apple games. I am very long on Apple.
And a company that potentially might be sitting on $200 billion in cash to play with as well as things heat up. Shelley, we talked a lot. There were questions about whether Apple had lost its way, whether it had lost its mojo, what about Tim Cook and stuff. Those sort of... that seems to have been silenced. They seem to be, even if you're not sure about the Apple Watch, they seem to be sort of, as you say, perfecting this ecosystem, and they have pricing power. Even in places like China, they're getting people to pay up for product.
Look, at the end of the day, the Apple Watch may and or may not be successful. I am not long on the Apple Watch. I think the Apple Watch is a horribly failed experiment. I know I'm going to be proven wrong, and people go, don't bet on it. Don't say anything bad about it. No. But at the end of the day, their supply chain is unmatched in the world. Their strategy is unmatched in the world, and their performance with respect to delivering high-end merchandise to high-end individuals, packaging those individuals for advertisers.
Sam, I want to ask you, this is a stock that's not just important to short-term momentum, professional investors. This is a stock that is widely held and matters a lot to sort of people's sentiment about how things are going.
You just saw that in the report I did earlier in the show with the Chinese-American couple who started out with a few tens of thousands of dollars, and they say they've turned it into millions of dollars. And you heard her say when I asked her about the Apple Watch, she said, look, it's just the first generation. They can improve. And if you look back at iPad numbers, they were only 3 million in the first quarter. We don't see Apple Watch numbers broken out in this report yet. Analysts expect about 3 million. So maybe if they don't get it right this time around, maybe they'll get it right next time around.
Did I mention I love my Apple Watch? Did I mention that?
You did mention you love it.
Listen, so good for Apple. Is it good for the economy? I mean, you have all these tech companies. We talked about Microsoft doing well but laying off people. Should we feel that good if Apple's doing well, or is that a...
You know, there's a macro question about the economy and what the ever-increasing pace of technological advancement is going to mean for white-collar jobs and jobs where you're using brain power. You know, look, the Industrial Revolution gave us the steam engine, and it amplified the value of our muscles, and a lot of people who worked with their muscles got laid off and had to change jobs, and now they toil the machines as opposed to be the machines. Well, think about it. Computers replace our, enhance our brain ability by millions of times. People who put numbers from one column to the next, their jobs are in jeopardy. If you do things computers can do, you're in trouble. So writ large, tech companies doing better. Apple doing better means people are buying their devices and buying the ecosystem. Tech companies writ large doing better, like cloud computing, that's a whole other story, probably for another segment on another
Meantime, no matter where you report on tech in the world, whether it's California or Israel, they say they always have a demand for engineers. They need computer engineers.
Yeah, so we see it go that way. One last note, Shelly. Microsoft and Apple used to compete. It doesn't even seem like these two are going after the same thing at all anymore.
Considering what's happened to Microsoft and that phone company they bought and what they had to do with it and where Apple is, I think, look, the iPhone may be down a few units this quarter, but it's the star device in their lineup and probably will continue to be. Microsoft is really doing a nice job in cloud computing. When they get Office 365 all put together in the cloud and Azure, they're going to have a cash cow to end all cash cows. So they're looking strong. They don't compete with Apple head-to-head the way that you think they would. They're still all enterprise. Apple still seems to feel very computer. Kind of a good messaging coming from both companies.
Yeah.
Pretty strong.
And if you look at the stock price, may be interesting. All right, obviously, thank you both. We're going to have to wait for the conference call to sort of tease out a lot more detail about exactly what's going on underneath the hood. So stay tuned. Shelly Palmer and Burke, thank you to both of you.